Hey everybody, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. It's Wednesday night. Hump day. What day is it? Hump day. And for those of you that are on a Monday to Friday gig, it's a good day because you're over the top. You're on your way to the weekend, and I'm here to celebrate with you, of course. I'm always love a good weekend. Not that I do anything extraordinarily special, but it's a weekend. I know everybody's in a better mood then, so hope you guys have had a great week so far, though. I've been just busy as hell, but doing good. Everything's pretty stable here in the portal house, so that's good for now. Knocking on my desk. I don't need to tempt fate anymore. It's just I've had enough now. I'm ready for a nice smooth sailing for quite an extended path. That'd be fine. So, obviously it's Wednesday and this is our first live stream of the week. We stream live every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern, or whatever that works out to whatever time zone you're in. So, but whenever that is, I'd love to see you come back. If you're not already subscribed, get subscribed. I'm ready for tonight's live stream. Thanks. A Nerdy Dude Gaming said, good to see you again coming back. It's good to see someone regularly visiting us from Twitch. I've been streaming over there for a while, so that's exciting to have you back. Thank you so much. We did clear 15,000 subs on YouTube, everyone. We did. Finally, it stayed at 14,998 for literally 2 days. 2 days. I don't know. It's the gods are tormenting me, I guess. I don't know what to make of that, but we did it. It's not. You're right, Deborah Neighbors. Thank you for all you guys keeping an eye on the studio. You know what should be happening here. Those of you who've been with me for a while, and Deborah Neighbors just said, hey, Ghost Radar is not on. You are right. It is not. However, it's about to be. Here we go. This is November 12th, 2025. And there we are. It is now live, churning out a report and real time. And that's what you see right over here. I'm moving my mouse over it so you guys can see this is the ghost radar. And it's got a word database here. It'll spit out words sometimes, but I don't know. Generally speaking, the words aren't extraordinarily accurate. Aussie saw it too. Yes, it's not on, but it's on now. It'll churn out sometimes a surprisingly relevant word. Now, what you got to ask yourself, is that the law of averages? Is that just, well, eventually it's going to say something that's going to matter because it's saying stuff, but not really frequently. If you've tuned into the show, it doesn't spit out a whole lot of words. Once in a great while, it'll spit out something, but generally speaking, it's probably, I would say, at least in the 80 plus percentile of nonsense as far as I can discern. I don't see much really relevant coming out of it, but every once in a while it'll come and just boom, it'll be like dead on or at least applicable to what we're talking about. It's like, wow, that's surprising. So again, does the ghost radar work? Well, it uses a similar tool that we use in investigating spirits and hauntings, and that is EM field detectors. Not EMF. EMF is electromotive force, but EM fields or electromagnetic fields, we do test for those because there seems to be anomalous electromagnetic activity around spirits. And again, I don't think spirits are made of electromagnetic energy, but whatever they are made of seems to influence the electromagnetic fields and affect them. So that's how we can use it. Now, your wireless devices, whether it's in your phone, and that's why you'll see these phone apps that have a ghost radar on it, or it's a computer, whatever. If it has wireless connectivity, it has a magnetometer in it, which does read and can measure magnetic fields around the device. And that's kind of how wireless works in a lot of ways. So anyway, if there is anomalous readings, it can certainly give us an indicator, and that might indicate spirit, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's ghostly, like someone's visiting. It may be, but it may be not. So don't get your hopes really high over things like ghost radars. They could be indicative of a presence, but they could also be indicative of probably 100 other things. So they are interesting. They are a potential, but certainly not a certainty. So, any kind of tools like that, it might be something, but it might be absolutely nothing. So we just like to have it on here because it is surprising sometimes when it turns on, when it detects a spirit, like there's something possibly visiting. It's like, that's kind of interesting. It came up then. But anyway, when you see this circle, and I haven't really explained this for a while, that's why I'm explaining it again. Where you see this circle, the silver in the middle of the circle is me. That's where the computer tower is, right here next to my legs, and so that's where the wireless is. So basically, I am right on the very left side of this circle. This should measure up to 25 yards out, according to what I understand about it. So this range from the middle to the edges is 25 yards, or thereabouts. Maybe it's 30 yards, but anyway, so it has to be pretty much in the close to the center in order for me to think, well, it's something in the house, if it is in the house. Otherwise, if it's outside into this range, it's definitely out in my yard. And so whatever, I mean, they might be looking in the windows, I don't know, but they're not in the house. So if it's close to the center or underneath the center, straight down and to the right of the circle, this is all in the house. So if it's in here, that's a little more, I don't want to say concerning, but certainly a little more relevant to detecting something in the house. Anything up here and around here is definitely going to be outside. So just for the record, as you're looking at the ghost radar, that's what I'm just wanting to tell you. So, as always, we're going to be getting to the news here shortly, and we're going to get to, what else? I guess we're going to get to an article we've been going through on Thought Catalog. We're going to do that. We're going to get to what the hell is that, and we're going to get to the Cryptid Corner, and as much else as we can smash into this 2-hour fun fest of paranormal goodness. So that's what we're going to do. That's my plan. How you doing, Beth? Good to see you. I guess we should say hello to everybody over on Rumble. I got Barbara Mora, Justin Goodearth, and Car Juice was the first one in over there with me. So good to see you guys. Of course, we've got what is it? A nerdy, I forget. I'm going to screw up your name. That's why I'm looking again. A nerdy dude gaming is over there hanging out on Twitch with us. So good to see you there. I haven't seen anybody pop up on X or Facebook tonight, but that doesn't mean nobody's listening. It's just nobody's typed a message over on those things. So I'm not seeing it in the chat here, because you will see messages from Facebook and X over here, as well as a nerdy dude gaming. So that's over on Twitch, so, and of course YouTube. So it'll handle. The only one it doesn't grab is Rumble, and that's not on screen. That's over here on the right of my screen in front of me. So I keep an eye on that, and I try to let you guys know when they're saying stuff over there as much as I can. Justin Goodearth apparently speaks Canuck. Well, as far as I know, all of us Yanks down here are going to need to know Canuck, at least partially, because it looks like there's a potential for us to grow a few states here pretty quick. Which is fantastic. Hell, the more the merrier. You guys are welcome with us for sure. We love you, Canadians. So keep that in mind. But anyway, not that you have to. If you of course you love your country, I understand. But just saying, you guys are always welcome. We've already been brothers and sisters forever. So I'm not a sister to anybody, just for the record. I just came out all screwed up. We're already family, is what I meant to say. So, but I'm nobody's sister ever. So, all right. Well, let's see. I guess we can get to the news and find out what the hell's going on in the world, because usually I don't even know, and I'm learning these things. Remember, when I'm doing these shows, I don't pre-read anything. I pre-read nothing, almost nothing. Very rarely do I look ahead at an article we're going to cover. So I'm reading it. It's brand new to me. At the same time, I'm reading it to you. And I like it that way, because I think it's kind of fun to just have those moments like, oh my God, So don't you do it, Benno. Benno, I'm gonna have a mod silence you. Benno needs a timeout. He called me a sister, bastard. It's a good thing I love you guys. That's all I'm saying. All right. Hello, Sharon Sunshine. Good to see you. I never just said hello to everybody over on YouTube, did I? I kind of got sidetracked. Let's do that quick. Let me see who's our participants over on YouTube. So if you want a shout out on YouTube, start typing something, because that's the only way I can see you. So far, we got Andy Manul, Aussie Boss Tigers here. Benno is here for now. Chucky's here. Cryptical Crossroads. Josh is here. Good to see you. Elaine Clifford is here. Jason Finch is here. John Stevenson, Karen Alberding, Man from the West 420 are all here. Good to see you guys. All of you. Rachel Gets It Right is here. Sharon Sunshine, T-Bone, Wizard Moon, and Yeshua, as well as Beth. Adventures with Beth. So welcome to all you guys. Good to see you. And that's who is here. Rachel's yodeling. I'm ready for the news tonight. I wonder what's new. Everything's new on the news. Nerdy. Can I just call you Nerdy? Because that's a long name. A nerdy dude gaming just is so hard to spit out. I'm going to just call you Nerdy, but it's not a dig. I'm just saying. It's all new on the news. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the news. Hi, River Morris. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. And Low Country Recovery Massage. Ooh, that's excellent. Did you know I'm a certified massage therapist? Just for any of you who didn't know. I did go to school for massage therapy when I was 18. It was an awesome experience. I loved it. And used to do massage a little bit. But anyway, you can call me nerdy, and I understand completely. Okay, fair enough. Good deal. Let's get to the news, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello to Kitty Caddywhack and Jason Finch. And someone else came in, I thought. I thought I saw it, but no, I don't saw it. Okay. Well, if I missed you, just say hello to me in the chat. If I didn't give you a shout out, just say hi. I'm trying to say hi to everybody I do see. River Morris, I just said that one. So good to see you, though. All you guys, thanks for coming in. All right, this is the News Desk, ladies and gentlemen of the Paranormal Portal, where we dig into all the weird and wonderful stories that I can scrape together for you guys. And I'm saying, I hope you find it informative, entertaining, fun, interesting, or just relaxing, whatever it is. And I don't know. I curate these to the best of my ability. I love the source, so it makes it real easy. I have one source for the news because it's the greatest site out there for news, and that I've ever found, certainly hands down for me. But I hope you guys enjoy it too. And I just want to remind you guys that throughout the course of these shows, I utilized a lot of different websites, and these sites are exceptional. They are incredible. So please support them. Please visit these sites. There is so much information on all of them that you guys can spend months on all of them and just find material to your heart's delight. There's so much amazing information on these sites. So please give them your love. Please give them your patronage, your visits, because your visits equal revenue and help to keep the lights on. So just love these sites because I love these sites. They're incredible. And I'll call them out every site. I will call out and let you know exactly where these articles are coming from. So, all right, here we go. The first article of the night. I got to get the right browser up here. Hold on. All right, there it is coming from the news site. This is the site for all the news here on the Paranormal Portal. And I'm speaking of unexplained-mysteries.com, the incredible unexplained-mysteries.com. I don't know about you guys, but apparently robotics is taking incredible leaps and bounds forward, and it's going to be like AI pretty quick. Won't be able to tell real from fake, I imagine, at some point. Like, are you a droid? Are you a robot? But because apparently that came up recently, robot is so realistic that firm cuts it open on stage to prove that it's real. I saw that, magician. It's probably a magic trick. But anyway, let's see what's happening here. Maybe they really did. I don't know. Let's see what happened. A demonstration of the X-Ping iron humanoid robot recently left people unable to believe that it was even a robot. Developed by a Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer, the robot, an autonomous bipedal humanoid, is being positioned as a direct competitor to Tesla's Optimus. Ooh. It was demonstrated recently at the company's AI Day in Guangzhou. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that anywhere near what it should sound like, but it looks like Guangzhou. So I hope that's close. Where audiences got the chance to observe its incredibly lifelike walking motion firsthand. Hell, I have trouble walking when nobody's watching. Unexpectedly, however, its movement proved so realistic that many people questioned whether it was even a robot at all, instead accusing the firm of rolling out a human wearing a robot suit instead of an actual working machine. Keen to shut down such rumors, the firm made the decision to bring the robot back out on stage and cut it open in front of a live audience to prove it was genuinely a robot. According to X-Ping, the robot's incredibly fluent walking motion is down to its unique AI, which enables it to physically react to its surroundings. It's also covered in a tight synthetic skin that makes it appear more organic, and which covers up its assembly of artificial muscles, flexible bones, and synthetic spine. Overall, it's capable of 2,250 trillion operations per second. What the hell? Really? In the future, robots will be life partners and colleagues. What do you mean in the future? There's already some people making life partners of robots. I started out in Homer and just went total me on that one because it's like, yeah. I mean, in Japan, I think it's kind of a big thing, isn't it? Said the firm's CEO, Zhao Peng. I suspect that just like when you buy a car, you can choose different colors, exteriors, interiors. In the future, when you buy a robot, you can choose the sex, hair length, or clothing for your desired purpose. I'll bet you can. All right, let's see. I guess this is DPC Cars. This is, I think, their website. They got 382,000 subscribers. Good for them. Let's take a look. I guess they cut off the lower leg, but let's have a look at this. You guys want to see what the robot looks like? That looks so humanoid, they made him cut it open. Here it is.
Founding the X-Peng Iron robot was about more than just technology. It was about proving authenticity. After the press conference, the Xpeng team saw a wave of online speculation suggesting that the humanoid robot might actually be a person in disguise. That disbelief hit the engineers hard. They had worked tirelessly to showcase something.
My first takeaway is if you're going to cut away the cloth on a robot's leg, get a sharp pair of scissors, for God's sakes. He's hacking on this like it's a piece of beef jerky.
Real, only to face accusations of fakery. So instead of staying quiet, they decided to do something bold. They brought the Xpeng iron robot back on stage and physically revealed part of its structure to show it was genuinely mechanical. It was an emotional moment.
It was emotional.
The speaker admitted it was painful to have to
I'm emotional just being a part of this.
unzip the robot and expose its inner mechanics simply to convince people it was not human. He also reflected on something deeper. If the same robot had been presented by a foreign company, many would have accepted it instantly. Because it came from a Chinese startup, skepticism ran high.
I don't know. I think people would be skeptical no matter the startup or no matter the size of the company. Because if it looks like a human that much, of course, the easy description or solution is that, hey, there's somebody dressed up like a robot and they're trying to fool us. But so I don't know. They're making it like, oh, they don't love us because we're little. It's like, no, I don't think so. It's just must be pretty impressive enough that people are like, are you sure that's not a person? It walks just like a person. So I think that's a compliment more than a dig. But let's keep watching.
That was the real challenge, not just criticism of the robot's
I'm going to move ahead because
the layers beneath.
It's taking this guy forever to get this open. I hope they have it walk with that leg exposed, though. There we go. Okay, well, there's the leg exposed. Let's take a look.
Kernel design, it became clear the machine was real.
Okay.
That transparency even drew more suppliers to support Xpeng, eager to be part of a project proving itself through courage rather than words. The speaker then apologized to the Xpeng iron robot,
saying pretty good.
This would be the last time they would.
That's pretty good. Gotta admit. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a person walking. It really does. It's almost like a runway model. My God, that's incredible. There you go. I don't know if you guys saw that or heard anything that before today, but there you go. Looks like they got the walking nailed. Good for them. But I mean, it's kind of the easy out to go, oh, they didn't like us because we're little. It's like, no, I think that's a compliment. It moves so convincingly that it's hard to believe it's not a person in there. It doesn't matter your bankroll or how many employees you got. It's just that people are used to being jerked around, I guess. So I think that's fantastic. Very cool. I wish them the best of luck. Here's the thing for me, though. I really don't want a robot walking around that looks kind of like a person. I don't. I want something that looks like R2-D2 or, something like that. Give me tons of attachments, put a vacuum under it and just, so it vacuums wherever it goes and it's, doing things that matter. But I don't think the whole, hey, it looks like a person thing is the deal. I don't know. But you be the judge. I guess to each his own. Maybe it's good for, in some cases where maybe there's no one available to sit with a person that needs company and so they can just wire up a robot to do it. I don't know. I mean, do you fulfill the need for contact and connection by talking to something like an AI, whether it's in the facade of a human being or if it's just from your iPad or telephone? I don't know. Maybe you do. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, there it is. There's the robot. Looked like a person. And so much so that they made him, well, they didn't make him. They chose to cut it open on the leg and show that, no, it's a robot. Very cool, though. They did a hell of a job, I think. That was the first article up. You probably never heard of that. Now you have. Congratulations. We're bringing you up to speed. I want one with a special type of vacuum. What are you doing, John LaBella? I don't know you mean for your keyboard, right? We're talking about keyboard vacuums, right? Jesus God. You guys are just broken. We are screwed, Justin Goodearth said. Yeah, I mean, there it is. It is too real. I think, if you're going to make robots or droids, I want a droid. I don't want a robot necessarily. Well, a robot that doesn't look like a person's fine, but I like the whole idea of droids. It's like, make them so they can perform multiple functions, but don't make them look like human beings. I don't imagine that looking like a human being is probably the most, the best they could do anyway. I don't know, but whatever.
German,
make them look German? Is that what you're saying? Maybe. It said German. I don't know. Is that relevant or not? The Ghost Box said German. I mean, it is a type of people. Are Germans specifically something that's important? I don't know. I think all people are important. But anyway, there you go. First story on the news. Let's continue and go to the next one. This one is Creatures, Myths, and Legends. And this is one from actually today old. This article's today old. And it has to do with Loch Ness again. More sightings, apparently, folks. So buckle up. Let's check out what's going on here. Because there's some Nessie sightings to discuss. Let's get to it. From unexplained-mysteries.com comes our next report. Texas woman spots Loch Ness monster in latest 2025 sighting. I don't see it. That's probably not it. A visitor from the U.S. recently reported a sighting of something unexplained in Scotland's enigmatic loch. It's become something of a tradition for visitors to Loch Ness, which contains more murky water than all the lakes in England and Wales combined, to glance over its murky surface in hopes of catching a glimpse of its most famous resident, Loch Ness Monster. The latest such sighting, which was reported on October 28th at around 2:45 p.m., comes courtesy of Michon Milky, I don't know how to pronounce that, from Texas, who had been visiting Urquhart Castle at the time. According to the official Loch Ness Monster Sightings Register, Milky described seeing something resembling a head emerging from the water that seemed to belong to a much larger creature. I first saw it was like, wow, looks just like the images I saw from the sightings website. It didn't look like a wave. It actually looked like the head of something popping up. It made a distinct pattern in the water I couldn't see anywhere else, kind of like its own wake, and then it was gone. From that distance, I'd say the water pattern was at least 3 meters long. Sadly, as is often the case with such sightings, there's no way of knowing exactly what it was that she saw. While she did take a photograph, it was so blurry and indistinct that it's impossible to make out. Again, something not uncommon due to the images being captured from very far away. This is the 5th official sighting of 2025, and with the end of the year closing fast, it will almost likely be the last. Well, there you go. There's nothing to show you other than, look, everybody, there's Loch Ness. There it is. It is a big lake. It's a huge body of water, obviously, but they didn't get a picture of it that made any headway in the discussion. But it's a report. So there you go. Maybe you didn't know about that, but a person from the States saw Loch Ness. That's cool. I mean, is it possible? Yeah, it must be something over there because people keep seeing something, and not that every report is, as solid as others, but I will say that at least some of them have to be right, valid, I would think, out of the body of reports that have been collected over the years. So I think it's cool. There's no one for sure, though. I've not seen it, and that's my best metric is whether or not I've seen it. All right, let's go to the next report, which is not that one, but it's this one. This one is interesting. I don't know. If you're in Ireland, you might want to be careful. Don't carry around any pork chops in your pocket. No pork chops in your pocket, no steaks on your backpack, because you could be on the food chain, as it turns out. there might be a lion loose. Let's go to the world of the bizarre. Lion on the loose in Ireland turns out to have a very bizarre explanation. Okay, let's check it out. It says local authorities have been called out to investigate a viral clip of an alleged lion roaming the woods of County Clare. Concerns had been raised earlier this month when footage appeared or emerged of a large lion-like beast that had been spotted by a lorry driver in the woods of eastern County Clare, Ireland. The animal had been seen before by harvesters working on the site, but it was from a distance moving through the trees, said local forestry manager John O'Reilly. We assumed it was a deer before the video was captured, but before long, efforts were underway to track down and identify the creature, and as it turned out, the culprit wasn't a lion, it was a dog. Oh no. Oh no. That's very anticlimactic. The friendly canine was in fact a Newfoundland with a haircut that made it look as though it had a mane. Oh, named Moose, the curious dog had simply been roaming around exploring the woods. Oh, there's your lion, folks. Mouse is delighted with his recent viral video clip, the police joked. There he is. Nothing to see here, folks. Move on. Yep, there's your lion in Ireland. Now, fair enough. I mean, if you saw that, if it was moving, it was, it might be hard to tell it was not a lion. I mean, it's very small for a lion, but if there was a lion even that size, it'd be terribly dangerous. So that's crazy. Very crazy. I guess it's about the size of most mountain lions, which are incredibly lethal. In fact, they are probably the most successful hunters in all of North America, the mountain lions. So, and that's about the size of this. So if this was feline, it would be incredibly dangerous. There it is. No lion to see here, folks. It was a dog. Yeah, Simba. Yeah, there you go, Benna. It's not the conclusion I was looking for, but I was more into the excitement of a lion being loose. Not that I want anybody getting hurt, but I mean, come on, it's a cool story. There it is. All right, we're going to move over to the, are we? What, 1, 2, 3. I think that's it for the news. My God, it is. It's got to be. We got a lot more things to cover, so I'm going to cut the news there. That was 3 articles. That's usually what I cover. And so, ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, let's get back to the rest of the show. Wrong button. I think the dad jokes in the chat are going to make me have a stroke someday. Chucky says he wasn't really feeling it. Oh no. Oh no. I'm just saying you had that one coming, brother. I'm sorry. That's just more cheesy than a big pizza. Gotta love it though. That was funny. Funny. Now Sheldon would have laughed his head off on that. He loves jokes like that. Sheldon's got all day long to listen to that kind of stuff. He never tires of it. Me, on the other hand, not so much. All right, let's see. What are we going to do? We're going to get to this other article from Thought Catalog is what we're going to do. Let me cue it up here. Let me cue it up. I already did that one, didn't I? Didn't we? Didn't I? No, I didn't. I guess I didn't. That one we did. That one we did. Yeah, we're going through this article from Thought Catalog. I was trying to figure out where we are. Oh yeah, we're on this one. So this is an article from Thought Catalog. I'm sorry, I was talking to myself as I sorted out what the hell I'm doing. This is 17 military personnel talk about the creepiest thing they've ever seen on duty. Now, again, there's no shortage of UFO claims and reports around military installations. Oftentimes, they seem to be especially prevalent around nuclear storage sites where there's potentially missiles or warheads or some other nuclear material. It's also not uncommon to have UFO reports around nuclear power stations and so on and so forth. So that doesn't seem too hard to believe. Others, there's a ton of like Bigfoot claims coming around military installations as well. And I think it's probably because where a lot of these military installations are is way out in the woods. I mean, they're not like next to your local Walmart or something. These military installations take up miles and miles of rough and rugged terrain because they're used for training, they're used for drills, they're used for all kinds of things. So these bases are big, but they're out of the way too because nobody wants to hear cannons firing on their weekends and as they're trying to sleep in or something. So they're way out in the sticks. So it doesn't surprise me that there's Bigfoot reports. I think at any rate these creatures are incredibly curious, and so they would be probably interested in what the hell's going on. What are those big sounds? What's making those big sounds? So they come in and check it out. And I don't know about other types of reports. Obviously, there's ghost reports everywhere. And strange phenomena, sure, wouldn't surprise me. But military installations seem to be the focal point of at least a strong amount of paranormal events. So that's what we're going to look into now. And we've been going through this already. This article was written by Emily Madriga, and she's done a hell of a job. It's really cool, a great topic of discussion, and I love these kind of reports. It's another Reddit scrape, and I will give credit to the Reddit authors as I read them. But anyway, we were on one called Triangular UFO. So we're going to start there. One time at an Air Force base in the ROK. I don't know what that means, ROK. We had a power outage at night, and all of us walked out of our hangar doors to take a see. I've never seen that figure of speech. I think it's to take a look what the problem may have been, and we saw a very, very large triangular shape passing over our hangar. It was a clear moonless night previously, and when we went outside to look around, we noticed the starscape being covered and then slowly uncovered. No sounds associated with the event other than normal sounds of the location. I'll never forget it. That was by Snow Goose, S-N-O Goose. So that's pretty cool. It sounds very, very similar to the Phoenix Lights incident. I wonder where it's Air Force Base in ROK. I don't know what ROK is. Is that Oklahoma? Or is that somewhere overseas? I don't know. But the Phoenix Light case is very popular, very well known. They don't talk about seeing the lights underneath. Like oftentimes in these huge triangular and smaller triangular reports, we hear reports of 5, 6 of these circles of light that seem to be attached, maybe providing propulsion, maybe providing levitation for this enormous craft, or maybe providing a field or shield of some sort that makes it so they're absolutely silent. But it's, again, triangular craft. Oftentimes when people hear triangular, they go right to, oh, it's ours, it's TR-3Bs. Well, TR-3Bs could be a reversed manufactured or engineered type of equipment that was gleaned from this stuff, but I still don't think we're making things that are huge. Like, I don't think we're making things the size of aircraft carriers to go through the sky. Maybe we are, but I don't think we are. Like everything we have and honestly, everything that we have up to this point is built on the, Newtonian physics, the essential core physics, where you need thrust and lift and all of these things to counteract gravity and drag and all of that. And so building bigger things only makes that double tough to power. But if you had something that could float on a anti-gravity field of some kind, maybe then it's not a hard thing to do. But generally speaking, our stuff is around the size of commercial airline things or smaller, like C-130s. I think are on the top end of what we have, but maybe there's bigger things. I don't know. But the point being, we're not making things that are the size of football fields or cities or anything like that I know of. I wouldn't expect that we are. But anyway, that's the reports. Do with it what you will. Next one is called Screams. This is my dad's story. After he was done in Vietnam, he soon stationed at an Air Force base in Greenland. Oh, thank you, Elaine. Thank you. Elaine remembered. I saw John remembered earlier before the show. Thank you both. I really appreciate that. You guys are awesome. So he was at an Air Force base in Greenland. They had a bad blizzard often there, and when they came through, the base shut down. Every section of the barracks would take roll call. These blizzards are intense. There are cables running between all the buildings you attached to your person with a carabiner, so if there was a sudden whiteout, you didn't get lost and die. They had people die literally 20 meters from shelter because they got lost in bad weather and froze. He said for about 5 months, every time they locked down for weather, they would hear horrendous screams outside. Everyone was accounted for, so they didn't risk sending anyone out to investigate. They just wrote it off as an animal. However, every time this was heard, the engine room would be wrecked. Tools everywhere, paperwork all over the floor, tables and toolboxes knocked over, and even one time, a several thousand-pound jet engine had been lifted from its workbench crane and smashed almost 30 feet away. Oh, dear God. The hangars and engine room had cameras covering every single possible entrance with spotlights that made them clear even in a whiteout. No animals, no people, no anything was ever seen entering or leaving those buildings. And then one day, it just stopped. It says, okay, since I have a lot of debate on what could have caused this, I will clear some stuff up. This was not something they just shrugged at. It cost a lot of money and threw a wrench in at least one surveillance routine, which caused a lot of brass from the DoD and the CIA to breathe fire down the base commander's neck. This facility, beyond military function, served as a base for a lot of civilian research as well. There was a full investigation using all manner of scientists, engineers, and specialists, and they came up with no satisfactory explanation for what was happening. I do not believe in the paranormal, nor did my father. This is the only spooky type story he has from 22 years in the service. No one knows what happened. It was very strange in every way. Hundreds of people wrote reports and documented this. It wasn't just some grease monkeys scratching their heads and just randomly guessing. That said, I spoke to my mom, and she told me a couple things that I missed. After one of these occasions, the U-2 in the shop had all of its electronics turned on. Many of the systems in this plane were special built for this airframe and this particular cruise mission. These systems were complex and archaic. Very few people knew how to operate this machinery, and the only ones on base that could were 2 engineers and its crew. It was a simple matter of hitting power buttons and flipping switches from off to on. Another time, 3 barrels of hydraulic fluid vanished and were never found. They doubted the screaming noise was wind because it just came in short, irregular bursts, and the winds never produced those sounds again. They theorized it was a polar bear, but if it was, its coincidental timing was extremely uncanny. Lastly, Control picked up a bunch of weird interference and anomalous readings that, again, had the uncanny timing of happening only when this was going on. They were never able to reproduce these errors in a controlled manner. And that was by Creepy Reddit Loner. Okay, Creepy Reddit Loner. I don't know. Very strange. What could do that? I don't even have a theory other than maybe something extraterrestrial, but I don't know. I mean, that's just An absolute wild guess. Whatever it was, it didn't seem to like that bass a whole lot. I don't know. You be the judge. Whatever it was doesn't strike me as something spiritual in the traditional sense. Could be something super spiritual. I don't know if that's a word. Could be something supernatural, but I don't know. I'm confused. It's a hell of a story, and I don't know what to make of it. Maybe it was big feet. Several Bigfoots. I don't know. Could be. All right, but that's the story, and that's all we know. That's the one part of these smaller form factor type of articles. We don't have the ability to look into the claim at all. All we can do is just take it at face value and just see what we think. I don't have a guess for this one though. I don't have even a good guess. I don't have a bad guess either. I'm perplexed. What could do that? What could be in a base, which is already high security, enter a place that has, locks and guards without anybody knowing it, and then trashing the inside and then disappearing just as mysteriously as it came? I don't know. It's very strange. Let's go to the next one. This never happened. Used to be an F-22 avionics for the U.S. Air Force, 2A3x2. I don't know what that means. No shred. At an undisclosed base, a light appeared above the flight line, moving in odd ways and hovering. We called it our number one, and he called other AMUs to ensure that there were no sorties being flown that we didn't know about. Shortly after, F-22s and 16s were scrambled and could not intercept the object. It disappeared into the night. We saw this go down from our flight line. Shortly after, we were informed that this never happened. That was by P.H. Damon. Very cool. And I see something happened in the chat. What's going on? I knew it. T-Bone's rolling deep, folks. God bless you, T-Bone. Really appreciate it, brother. Gifted 5 memberships to our audience. And that means that 5 people just been given 30-day trial memberships to the channel. So thank you very much, T-Bone. Let's see who got them. Ben YouTubing has got one. Got a membership. Congratulations. Hope you keep being YouTubing. Lid 3 got one. Congratulations. Or LG Day. LJD. Hello, dyslexia. 3 got one. Congratulations. Josie Flores got one. Congratulations, Josie. Paradox Fossils got one. Alan. Congratulations. And Mr. Cheap Chips got one. Congratulations, all 5 of you. And you're welcome to continue those memberships if you so choose. But if not, thanks for giving us a shot. Special thanks, T-Bone. You made it happen. Hello, Mike Prine over on Facebook. Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in, being a part of the fun of the show. The show is fun, right? I hope it's fun. T-Bone is the man. Absolutely. Always rolling in deep, man. Appreciate it. Goes a long way to help us out here on the show, so really appreciate it. Do you want the articles up on the screen? Yeah, usually I do. You're right. Wouldn't you rather just look at me read stuff? You want to see a bunch of letters? Okay, here it is. Oh, nice job, Brent. Didn't close that out. There we go. All right, so this is the F-22. This never happened. I think I got to I got to move this. Make it fit a little better. There we go. All right, we're going to go to the next one. This one's piano notes. Don't know what that means, but I bet it has something to do with the piano. I'm just saying. I'm just going out on a limb here. Navy. Just one word. Okay, so this person was in the Navy. When I was in Groton, Connecticut for basic enlisted submarine school, I was roving the barracks at nights. I had a UI under instruction, so I was showing him the ropes, what to check and how to check it. It was mainly fire extinguishers and security doors, or secured doors. Well, on the 2nd or 3rd floor of the barracks, there was a recreation room with a TV and chairs and a piano. Mind you, everyone was asleep and it was 0200 in the morning. Well, I decided to go and see if I remembered how to play the piano a little. and we decided to continue to finish the patrol, so we started walking down the hall when we heard a single piano note go off. We both heard it while I was in mid-conversation. Breathe. Mid-conversation, so we kind of looked back, and then we both looked at each other to see if we both had heard the same noise. We shrugged it off as our imaginations running wild, but as soon as we got to the end of the hall and opened the door to the stairway, a sharp keynote was heard coming from down the hall in the direction of the room with the piano. We left the floor as soon as possible and later shared the story with some shipmates, and they told us stories of sailors that had died in the barracks. That was from Compact 2598. Huh. And here's the thing. I don't know if this guy ever actually played the piano, like he tried to remember if he could. And maybe the piano keys were sticking and just released one at a time. There was maybe a couple stuck hammers in there. I don't know. I mean, it's anybody's guess, but you can't discount stuff like that too. If you hear a piano note, I mean, you got to go for the mundane first. And then if you check that and that doesn't make sense, then maybe you got something. But I don't think you can dismiss that possibility either. If it's in a barracks, how many people probably play the piano in a barracks? Probably not many. Maybe a few, but I'm betting that piano doesn't get used a ton. But an interesting thought. Anyway, could it be? Sure, it could be paranormal. Absolutely. We're going to go to the submarine ghost now. I don't know how much farther. Yeah, we got a lot left of this stories because we're only halfway here on the scroll bar, so got a lot more to go. Submariner here, there are a few things as unnerving as wondering about the engine room from 2330 and to 0530 alone on watch. When the boat is largely shut down in port, it becomes a very quiet place. The roving watches usually make it an hourly game to speed through their log rounds, especially in the lower levels. One particular in-port period, the boat was moored in Pearl Harbor, and a few people started complaining about feeling really uneasy. And I was on the mid-watch as the SEO on evening, and a senior chief came back to do his required 0300 tour. We saw him walk past maneuvering on his way to Shaft Alley. This particular senior chief was the crusty old salt type, and would usually spend a bit of time just sitting on the lower levels of the engine room alone and contemplate life. So we expected as much. What we didn't expect was him to literally run into the maneuvering area a few minutes later. The man was pale-faced and breathing heavily. We sat up straight, our eyes as wide as his, thinking we were about to have to announce and fight some ship's casualty. He slumped into the EDO chair. A few tense and silent moments go by, and we're on pins and needles. He finally opens his mouth and tells us about the effing ghost in the Shaft Alley. Swears a sailor passes him by as he's sitting on a trash can in Shaft Alley. His first response was to call out to the guy to see who it was, but then he realized this guy isn't dressed right. He describes what this guy is wearing, the old World War II naval uniforms, so he quickly gets up to catch up to the guy, and he does. Catches up to him all the way aft. The guy turns toward the senior chief, looks right at him, and then turns away and literally walks through the back end of the boat. It's now that the senior chief decides it's time to leave Shaft Alley, and promptly does so. Swears up and down that he knows what he saw, and I sure as hell wasn't about to leave maneuvering that night to go find out for myself. And that was by Drift Wolf. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if you're Pearl Harbor of all places, my God, the amount of death and horrible endings that people had there. I'm sure there's a few transient presences that just wander around, probably in and out of any boats that happen to be there. But yeah, that's absolutely crazy. Cool story. Let's go to this one. Not sure if you're missing anything in chat. Now I'm curious. Married to a U.S. Navy senior chief, gunner's mate retired. I'm going to ask him if he had any paranormal experiences. Yeah, please do, Sandy. And if he says some, let us know. I'd love to hear them. Just, even out of idle curiosity. If he doesn't want it to be public, that's fine. But I'd love to hear what he has experienced, if anything. All right, here we are. Gollum is the next one. Stupid fat hobbitses. Taters? What's taters, precious? Yeah, taters, potatoes. One of my drill sergeants actually has a creepy story from one of his Afghanistan deployments. He was in infantry, so being in the field and out of missions for multiple weeks wasn't uncommon. One night while sleeping in a fighting position he felt something nibbling at his feet. He woke up and kicked it off, and what he saw wasn't any type of marsupial, but a little humanoid figure he could only describe as looking just like Gollum. But being in the field with little sleep, he just chalked it up to just seeing things. A couple days later, he and another guy and on watch, and the other guy pointed out something and said, "What the F is that?" and pointed at a stone wall in the distance. Well, my drill sergeant looked through his binoculars, and crawling across the top of this stone wall was the exact little humanoid creature he encountered a few nights before. Whoa. They say the truth is stranger than fiction, and I'm here to tell you I believe that. That whatever you've seen in movies probably exists in some manner, in some way, in our world. I don't pretend to know how to quantify that, but stories just like this. I mean, these ideas came from somewhere. Maybe they're somewhere is right here. That's just creepy. We do often hear about these proto-pygmies, these little humanoid beings that are around. Duende, puckwudgies, gnome-like creatures, goblins, etc. These are little humanoid beings that are legendarily involved in our world. And I just like everyone else, I don't pretend to understand what they are, where they go, what they're doing, but they apparently live here too. So when those reports come up, it's easy to just go, oh, whatever. Just a little entertaining writing, and it might be. I can't vouch for the authenticity of the story, but I will tell you that I've spoke to people myself that have claimed to see these little, Gollum-like Lord of the Rings characters, and it kind of sounds like the Pale Crawlers, honestly, that we have allegedly here in the States. Now, I don't know how big this was. He said it was a little thing, but I don't know how little it was. Are we talking a foot tall? Are we talking 3 feet tall? What is it? But whatever it is, it's disturbing as hell. Especially it was gnawing on his foot. What the hell is that? Throw that thing a biscuit or something. Just get it gone. Jeez. That's creepy, though. It is creepy. But that was by D_Swoozy. Very cool story. I love those stories because apparently out of Afghanistan and in the Middle East, their service members saw a lot of strange crap. And there was no quantifying it. There's no understanding. There's some almost vampiric things that they ran into. There's some ghostly things, a lot of ghostly things, especially in Afghanistan. A lot of people swear that they heard the old Russian talking in former Russian bases that were transitioned to American bases during our presence there. And even almost like insectoid, humanoid creatures. There's a lot. And of course the giants, The Kandahar giant is the most famous story coming out of Afghanistan. But there were others like that. People seeing these enormous humans on missions. And I was talking to, I think it was Nick Orton of Tales from the Grid Square. And he said, guys over there saw a lot of stuff, but he said they were on mission. They could look up and see something strange like a giant on a hillside, but he said they couldn't stop what they were doing because they were keeping people alive and they had to do their job, but they did see it. They did report it. He's heard those stories, but he said it's not like they could just drop everything, say, hey, wait a minute, guys, hold up, time out. Did you see the giant? So yeah, absolutely. Got some spam over on Twitch. What's going on over there, nerdy guy? They got some spam cooking over there? Cheap viewers. Do not click on that. Don't remove the space as suggested. Nerdy, I might have to make you a mod over there if you're going to be there. Let me know if you're still there. You might have drifted off. But anyway, that's a cool story. Cemetery Ghost is coming up next. It says, I worked at Arlington National Cemetery while I was in the Army. The tomb guards always talked about seeing or just hearing soldiers marching some nights, and we were cataloging graves one night when I thought I saw a soldier in my team up ahead, so I called him over. He answered from behind me. When I looked back, the other soldier was gone. I'm a skeptic, and I believe everything paranormal has a real-world explanation, but I'm still trying to figure that one out. That was by Chris Berman, 410. Very strange. Double row of buck teeth, 2 coats of hair. What is that, Mike? The giant stuff? Yeah. I think, well, double rows of teeth, not necessarily buck teeth. The buck teeth are the incisors. That's the front 2 teeth. When they're bigger than the others, is called buck teeth. But
everything,
you're right. It's all the teeth that are double rowed in giants. Thank you, Ghostbox. I was just talking about how it doesn't really say very much relevant stuff, and now tonight it's my freaking co-host. That's cool. It's everything in the mouth is double rowed. The molars, the bicuspids, the canines, all of that is all double rowed. But yeah, there you go. It's like, what? What did it say? Everything. You're right. It's all of the teeth, not just the buck teeth. All right. This one is actually the last one, so I'm just going to read it. It's called St. Elmo's Fire. Saw a ghost and some creepy stuff happen when we were removing the old Fresnel lens from a Presque Isle light in Michigan. Also seen some weird creepy lights and St. Elmo's Fire near the old Waugoshance light. Compasses and radios all quit. Radar and GPS wouldn't work either. The light near Sturgeon's Bay is haunted as well, and we stayed at the light near 2 rivers, and the whole family saw the ghost. There are several lights in the Great Lakes that are open to active reserve and retired military members as vacation rentals. We stayed at Raleigh Point Lighthouse and the Sherwood Point Lighthouse, and they have visitor logs that are like a diary, and multiple stories are in there about the hauntings dating back to the 70s. I know that Sherwood Point is haunted. That was by Derpsalot 1984. That wouldn't surprise me, I'm sure. If you know, there's people very devoted to what they did there, the housekeepers, the lighthouse keepers, whatever, I'm sure they stick around, or at least some of them have. Emily Madrigal has her little artwork of her standing before a Taco Bell sign. That's awesome. Gotta love your Taco Bell. Apparently Emily does. So, but she does an amazing job on these articles. So fantastic work. And again, this is Thought Catalog, folks. So definitely stop over in Thought Catalog, do some search. I like these stories a lot, especially these short form stories. There's a lot of great material, a lot of stuff to discuss. I can do an Elmo, but I have to warm up to it. I really have to fold my voice. Elmo loves you. I can't quite do it because my voice is a little raspy. But if my voice is earlier in the day, I could do a better Elmo. That was for you, Benno, because love. Nothing but love. Good to see Amanda's Crazy Life channel popping in. Good to have you here. That's awesome. Excuse me. But that is the article. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We got a lot more to get to. As we're winding through the night, we're at 8, just after 8. We're doing actually perfect. I couldn't time this better if I tried. Not that I would try. What was this one? Yeah, that would be a good one too. I pulled this one up and I never read it. 13 of the most famous ghosts from around the world. That's an interesting thought. We can get into that one maybe another time. Not tonight, because Got other stuff to get to tonight, but that's by Ranker. That's a Ranker article. Ranker is another great site with a lot of fantastic spirit ghost stuff. So, dark sanctuaries, haunted bridges, the most haunted bathrooms. That's all from Ranker. A local news crew may have captured hard evidence of, and then, I don't know, haunted Antarctica. There's lots of great stories over there on Ranker. But we'll maybe look into that on a future show, but not tonight. But Ranker.com is another great repository for a lot of great information. So good to see all you guys. Chucky, how you doing tonight? You're a bad man, Mr. B. Sorry, didn't mean to traumatize you. All right, let's see. What am I doing now? Oh yeah, I remember what we got to do now. We got to go to the next segment of the show. And this is a segment I've really had fun doing. It's a newer segment. Most of you know what I'm going to say. Just in good earth. I can't even read that out loud. That's funny. I'm just looking over. Haven't even scratched the surface. What is it? Too much Irish whiskey. Maybe that's what did it to that hanger. You're right, Dog Digger. Maybe it's just too much Irish whiskey. The screaming was their own. All right, we're going to get to other part of the show, and this is, again, a segment that's newer, but it's been a lot of fun to go through, and I hope you all enjoy it. Now, again, there's a little bit of participation required, so let's get to it now. Hi, Maggie. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. What the hell is that is the new segment, and this has been a fun segment where we look at potential evidences, and I ask you guys to vote on it. And generally speaking, it's a chat vote. If you think what you're looking at is real, give it a 1. If you think what you're looking at is not real, give it a 0. If you're kind of somewhere in the middle, give it a 0.5 or point something. That way we'll kind of get an idea where your head's at, but it's just been kind of fun to explore these things. Again, there's a lot of questions we can't answer. There's a lot of information we don't have. All we can do is just look at it and say, yeah, that looks like it might be legitimate activity, or no, that does not look legitimate at all. This is some kind of hoax, and that's either one's okay. Now, there's no wrong answers. There's no right answers. Well, some of them there's right answers because they're so bad and they're so clearly AI. In fact, I got one for you tonight that's very much AI, but it's kind of humorous, so I'm going to show it to you anyway. But it's not that I really need you to vote on it, but I thought it was funny. So we'll get to that right now as we go. I got to pull up the material, and we'll get at it right now. In fact, I'm going to start with the cheesy one because it's a fun clip. I don't know. I really like it. So let's do that right now, folks, because that's how I roll. It's my show and I get to choose. All right, I'm going to shrink this down a little bit, make it the correct size for inclusion on this other page. And this video is posted by a good friend of ours, Mr. Brian Bowden. And Brian's a great guy. He's got his own show, Third Eye Live, I think is what it's called. I'm terrible with names, so I'm probably brutalizing that, but I think I got that right. And Brian's one of those great guys. He's a very well-versed guy in all of this strangeness, and a lot of amazing information, great sense of humor. I met him down in Missouri and really enjoyed my time talking with Brian. He's just one of those guys that's a lot of fun. And he and Mark, his co-host on his show, do a great job. So check out that one. I'm not sure everywhere that Brian streams, but I think it's on Facebook as well as YouTube. He might be streaming on more channels, but that's what I know for sure. But this is from Brian Bowden, and he's been a guest, so you might recognize his name. But here we go. This is, he says, this gives me 100% AI vibes, but it's worth a share. And I would agree. This is definitely some AI vibes at work here, but it's kind of a fun video. So let's get to this now. I'm going to minimize some stuff. There we go. Let's see if I got it framed up pretty well here. Yeah. I got it framed up about perfectly. And here it is. What is this? A little goblin-like creature and a couple cats? Let's take a look. Here you go. Again, not evidence, but fun to watch. Take a look. These cats are no joke. And honestly, I think the reaction of the cats is about perfect. Cats are sometimes way more aggressive and territorial than dogs. So take a look, see what you think. The dog is all cautious and back. Like, the cat's all in. The cat is all in. Let's watch that again. That is so well done. He does like a bad sidekick. It really does look almost organic. It's really, really well done. I mean, even the figures, the way they move and stuff is like, wow, that could be real. I mean, because honestly, if you're over in the Philippines or Indonesia, the houses are exactly like this. A lot of tile, a lot of open porches like this. I mean, it's a perfect rendition. So it's not that it, would be impossible to be real, but I just think having this much evidence recorded on camera is probably unlikely. But let's keep watching. I love that part. That cat's like, rah! Gives him the people's elbow there or something. Just body flies into him with the elbow or whatever. I mean, it just puts him down. That cat is just like, nope. That's so funny. I love that, right? Is that not fun? That's a great video. Again, I'm pretty sure it's not real, obviously, but it's very, very well done. And if this was 10 years ago, I'd be going, oh my God, they caught it on camera. If I didn't know about AI and all that stuff, because the interaction between the animals and this creature and the land around them, even the little like jumpy twitches that the little goblin does, like, I'm coming, no, I'm not. I'm coming, no, I'm not. It's just like, God, I mean, they really nailed it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, T-Bone, for putting the link for Mr. Bowden on YouTube. I appreciate that. But great post. It's very interesting, very fun. I don't think it's real. I just find it hard to believe that all of that was recorded on camera. But it looks good enough to be real. There's a couple motions of the cat at the very end, how quickly it moves and how it slides back to the wall and then takes off again. It almost like it didn't have any traction problems, even though that was tile in the last video, and now it looks cement here. If you look here, that's like a tile, but when they change direction, it's not. But isn't this two cats, or is that just one? I want to go back to where it starts. Yeah, because that's two cats. And what are the chances of catching two of this thing dicking with cats? I don't know. But when see how it just... This is the part that I think is interesting. Watch the body of this guy, how he does like a fake charge, like, I could come and get you. And almost like a Jack Black kind of thing. Right here, watch. Oh, that wasn't. Maybe it was back a little bit further. Wait, it was a little bit further yet. Yeah, there. What did that say? It said ranch. It does look like a little ranch, but it's over in the Philippines or Indonesia, at least for the footage, looks like it is. So, Miyagi did not train that guy. Missed. Yeah, that roundhouse kick was like, I mean, but again, that's what makes it look kind of organic, is like, missed that kick. It's like, wow. Wax on, wax off. You got it. But anyway, I'm not going to ask you to vote because I'm pretty sure what we're looking at is not legitimate, but a fun video. Hope you enjoyed that. Oops. I didn't enjoy that. What the hell is that? That is the first offering, and what the hell is that? let's get to the next one. We're going to do this one now. I think this one is a photo. Yeah, it is. Here's the next one. I think it's pretty decent. Could be a lot of things, but tell me what you guys think. I don't know. Kind of on the fence about this one. I don't think it's impossible that it's legitimate, but it's just incredible that they had the idea to even look for the footage or look at what they recorded. I don't know. It doesn't really give us anything to go on as far as a narrative. It's just, yeah, just this. So this is from Ghosts of London. There's 2 images that we're going to look at here. Ghosts of London is a really cool site. They've posted a ton of this stuff. So go check them out. Something's written on the wall, I guess, in this one. So I think it's a legitimate image. I don't think the image itself is faked in any way. It is words on the wall. I can't really make out what they say, but it's like a cursive writing. But take a look. See what you guys think. Here's the first image. It's just, I guess, a picture of someone taking a picture of her brother coming down the stairs. And there's not much to see. The magic is actually all happening up in this window. And that's what we're going to look at now. Look at that. I want to zoom in a little bit. Looking in that window. That's a creepy ass face. Sorry. I think that's very disturbing. Brent V. There's another Brent in here. Brent Van Hoon. Good to meet you. Thanks for coming in. I already love you because you got a great name. Us Brents, you know. But is that a legitimate capture? It really could be, folks. In my opinion, but I'm kind of curious what you think. So in the chats, give me a 1. Yeah, a dead face. Exactly, T-Bone. Give me a 1 if you think that this is a great capture. Just 1 in a million kind of capture, and that is some kind of specter looking in through that glass. Give me a 0 if you think it's not at all. It's nothing to see here. Or the decimal somewhere in the between. Vote now. Barbara Moore over on Rumble thinks, yeah, that looks legit. Okay, we got them coming in on YouTube. Aussie's all in. Amanda's all in. John Stevenson's all in. Sharon Sunshine, not so much. Adventures with Beth and Owl are both halfway there. Mike Nation says 1. It's all in. Yeshua, 1. T-Bone, 1. BJ's all in. Karen Alberting's halfway there. Wizard Moon, all in. And Mike Prine's 0.8, almost all the way there. And Daryl Stanley's at a 0.5. So, interesting. What do we got? Justin Gooder is halfway there over in Rumble. 0.5. Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, I think it's a pretty good capture, honestly. I really do. I don't know how you get... I mean, you can see it up there. I've zoomed in as much as I can on these images. But if you look, I mean, that is a creepy, creepy picture. Not what you want to see looking in the window behind you. Not at all. I think that's horrible. Mothman's about halfway there, as Elaine is as well. Too legit. I can't read that. 1, Benno's all in. Halfway there for Rachel, looks like actor Bruce Dern. This guy does? I don't know. I'm not getting Bruce Dern vibes, but... Or does this look like Bruce Dern up in the window? Does he look like a death face? I don't know. It just looks like some kind of specter to me. I think it very well could be legit. Just a gut check. I don't know. I don't know the backstory on this. Brent gets me through those Wednesday nights. God bless you. Thank you, Jaron. Appreciate it. Brent Van Hoen's all in. He's buying it. Low Country Recovery Massage is all in too. So yeah, I think it could be. It could be legit. But, you know, again, there's no wrong answers. We don't know. This is where the writing is. And it says, I will be something on the bottom of the second, or it will be, and then I can't read it, and whatever the hell that says. So it's some angled cursive writing. But very cool. I think it's a great capture. Let's get to the next piece from What the Hell Is That? We got another one waiting for you on deck. So I'm going to pull it up now. Here's one that Matt Knapp posted, and this one's been around forever. It's the Russian Yeti road crossing video. It's been around forever. It's certainly not new, but it still remains one of the great pieces of potential evidence of a Bigfoot. Now, this is happening out in the frozen tundra of Russia, and it's a little bit of a long video. It's 1:29. If there's no music, I'll play the audio for you too, but if they do talk, it's going to be in Russian. We're not going to understand it unless you speak Russian, then you might get it. But anyway, this is it. How do I make this a little bit bigger? I guess I could go like this. That's not bad. Let's see how that frames up. If I go big screen. And the reason I'm doing the big screen on this one is, and it's from 2016, this video. So it's been around almost 10 years. The reason I'm doing the big screen is because the action, you'll almost miss it. It's kind of out in the distance out here, just on the edge of the light. But let's take a look at this. It doesn't have sound now. Let me see if there's music. I got to mute it again, but let's take a look. And you can see there's nothing going on out there. Nothing.
Пока ехать будем, пока тень дождя свет. Уже, блядь. О, лось. Стой, блядь. Какой лось нахуй, блядь?
Did you see that?
Нифига. Стой. Лось нахуй, блядь, медведь нахуй. Стой, блядь.
There it was, right there. Coming right up here.
Стой, блядь. Какой лось нахуй, блядь, медведь нахуй. Нифига. Стой.
The car stalled.
Какой-то лось, ты видел, как бежит? Поехали, потом.
And you can see the footprints right there.
Две ноги.
Now, another takeaway is there's really no recent tracks here. So it's not like they drove down and set up their friend, then drove back and then drove down again. All of these tracks are weathered, like they've been windblown for a while. So I don't think anything is real recent. But I don't know if they're going to do some close-ups or something. There are cropped versions of this. Oh, now they're backing up. There it is. So that's where it broke over, and this is where it ran across. And that's it.
I will not tolerate such behavior.
I don't think we want to hear the Prime Minister in Parliament. So there you go. What do you think? Do you think you might have seen a Yeti crossing the road in Russia? So let me know. Give me one. Karen Alberding's all in on this one. Did Sharon Sunshine is the 0.8? Yeah. Almost yes. Elaine Clifford's all in. Sharon Sunshine 0.8. Wizard Moon all in. BJ's halfway there. Aussie Tigers all the way there. I didn't see anything. Okay, well, I would recommend that if you get a chance, watch that. Just do a search on YouTube. You can find a more cropped, zoomed in version of that. But it's pretty good. Kitty Cadillac's all in. Maggie's all in. Daryl is halfway there. Rachel's all in. Mike Prine's buying this one. Benno's about 3/4 of the way there. Brent Van Hoen's all in on this one. Van Hoen. Very cool, Brent. John Stevenson, yep. And Yeshua's all in. Over on Rumble, we've got Barbara Mora's all in. Justin Goodearth, he's all in. Car Juice and Dog Digger all in as well. Good to see you, Dog Digger. Thanks for coming in, brother. I think it is. I think it's a great capture. It's, again, I don't see, you don't see a lot with this, but you just look at the surroundings, you go, yeah, who the hell's going to be pranking somebody out there? It's out in the middle of nowhere on this almost not even a road. It's like some field farmer's road that they're going down. So I think it's certainly, could it be hoax? Sure, could be. But I wouldn't wait out there in that cold hell waiting for somebody to drive so I could run in front of them. But that's why I say, And I still maintain that I think the next great Bigfoot evidence is going to come from a dash cam. It's going to be the next Patterson-Gimlin film from a dash cam. As dash cams become more and more prevalent, somebody's going to catch one. Probably already has, but they haven't brought it out to the light of day. But that's going to be our next great footage, is something like that. Road crossings are literally the most common Bigfoot sightings there are, is road crossings. For some reason, they feel just compelled to run in front of cars. I don't know what it is, but they just can't help themselves. So, yeah, I think that's a great catch. And, yeah, God bless them for having that dash cam. I know over in Europe and stuff, they're more common for people to have dash cams and stuff. And I think that's probably a great idea. If you don't have one, probably a good idea to get one, especially with all the insurance fraudsters are trying to back into people and say you hit them. And it looks like you did if they don't have the dash cam. So, yeah, just some take that advice or leave it. It's up to you. I don't have one yet, but I'm planning on getting one. Because it just, I mean, my God, there's so many bad actors out there. I wouldn't say obviously no one, some proper weirdos out there. Well, that's true. There are weirdos out there. You're right. I shouldn't dismiss those because there's all kinds of flakes everywhere. But generally speaking, just from a rational person point of view, not many people would sit out there in the frozen tundra waiting for a car that might never come on a road that's almost not even a road. So anyway, fraudsters do suck. You're right, Benno. Absolutely. But cool. There you have it. Let's, I think I got one more, but let me double check. I may not. Might or might not. I'm not sure. Got to look at the stuff. Yes, I do. I do, as a matter of fact. I've got one from, well, I actually got two from Rachel that she sent me. These are a little longer, and I don't really have the permission from this person to show their whole video. But these are a couple videos. It looks like they're both from the same person. Real D's Dark Adventures. No, it's two different channels. Chelsea Woe and someone else, I guess. This one's a minute long, minute 3, and this one is 3 minutes. I don't think I can show the 3-minute one. It's just too long, but I'll just show you the next one if I can.
Crazy.
I don't want to include all of that. This is the one I want to include. I think I'm going to actually show you. I just want to encourage you guys to go check out Whoa, That's Strange on TikTok. And it's all one word. Whoa, That's Strange. 2 S's, that's, and then strange. It's a cool video. And I don't know where they sourced this from, but very cool. I don't think it's her video, or if it's somebody sent it to her. But if this is legitimate, it's creepy as hell. And another of the weird things that are out there. I just like the footage a lot.
Y'all, a woman in...
So, I don't know. This is going to be kind of a stretch. This could be a copyright strike for me, honestly, guys. And I'm a little nervous. I really think maybe I should reach out to this person and say, hey, can I share your video? Because it's over a minute long. If it's just a clip, I could maybe look at it. Let me mute it. And just see if I can go ahead here to where the actual material is. I don't really know the backstory, but her head is in the whole thing. And God, it's a great collection of images, but creepy as hell. I'm pretty sure it's a pale crawler, but I don't know. It's just really bizarre. Yeah, she put her head in the whole thing, so I really can't do it. I'd have to look for some kind of permission in order for that to happen. But so I guess we're going to probably quit there just because I can't take a chance showing that long of a video without permission, especially when her face is on the whole thing. So my apologies. I kind of teased that, and then I'm going to have to pull the plug. But yeah, I mean, it looks like a really cool video. Strange creature. I don't think, I mean, Rachel sent me one of those, but I think the other one I might have just found. It's only a minute long. I'm not a big channel, so it's probably would be nothing, but I just don't want to, err on caution. I just gotta. So, just too much risk. I don't want to risk my channel just hit 15,000 subscribers. I don't want to risk my channel. It's only taken me since 2017 to get here. So, hey, let me just show you some other unlicensed stuff. Dope. There you go. All right, well, let's go to the next part of our show, ladies and gentlemen. Now that we've gone through the angles of what the hell is that, the next part of the journey is, of course, another great part that we've been doing forever. And this is, let me just get this queued up. I think I only got one from Sasquatch Chronicles tonight, but this is the next part of our journey, which is we walk into the darkened wood line to check out the cryptid corner. Yeah, that's a good point. That's actually, if you get a chance, ladies and gentlemen, do go outside, especially if you're in the northern hemisphere. Go look. See if you can see the aurora. I even heard somebody over in Virginia caught some red stuff in the sky, and that's a long ways away and a lot south. So I plan on taking the minion and the missus out after the show, and we're going to see if we can see it, because she's never seen anything like that. So she's been seeing all the pictures posted, and she's like, I want to see that. I'm like, okay, we'll try. It's been kind of overcast, so with spotty clouds here and there, so not sure if we're going to be able to see anything, but by God, we're going to try. So we'll watch for it. But this is the Cryptid Corner, ladies and gentlemen, where we journey into the worlds of the unproven animals or beings that are out there that science just won't acknowledge or hasn't acknowledged. And so this is our journey. We're going to start over in Sasquatch Chronicles blog, because why not? Then we're going to head over to Phantoms and Monsters. This is Lon Strickler's site. We haven't visited for a while. I've just kind of given it time, because I know he's been working hard on the site forever. So just giving him some time to get everything all established.
Date.
What is that saying? It's a date? It's a date? Is that what you're saying? It is a date. Okay. Today's date. It's Aurora Borealis date, I guess. I don't know if you're coming, though. Are you? Are you coming, Ghost Box? Ghost thing? Ghost being? Spiritual being? Anyway, let's go to this. Read what the hell's going on Sasquatch Chronicles blog. I got like one of those, you know when you get that crap in your eyes and that kind of floats all over your vision? That's what I got cooking. It's not the usual burning thing. It's like a gunk. Ever since I turned on the furnace, it's like I dry out and I get all mucusy and gross. It's not my favorite thing. Thank you, T-Bone, for the link. Appreciate that. Let's get to it. Yeah, there it is again. Damn it. I got to get this out of my eye. It's like a film over my eyeball. Like a piece of sludge. I don't know. Still there. Kinda. It's better, though. All right. Oh. Chucky, Dad had a heart attack today. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. Our prayers, of course, to you and your family, brother. I hope everything's okay. Hopefully Dad's okay. Good thing is heart attacks are generally really treatable, so I hope they caught it in time and everything's going to be okay. But you have our prayers, brother, and our love, and keep us posted, please. Prayers to Chucky's dad, absolutely, to the whole family. That's a scary thing. Brent is turning into Slimer. No, definitely not. Sister sent pictures from Montana. It is really pretty. The aurora pictures that have been captured are just really, really striking. So just wish I could get this all the way out of my eye. Keeps popping back. Let me grab a tissue here. See if I can do better with some tissue. Perhaps. Feels like it's right in the corner. I don't think that was it. All right, well, let's get to this article from Sasquatch Chronicles. He's in the hospital and very confused. Okay. Well, we're sending all our love and prayers for a fast recovery, Chucky. I guess the good news is that, I mean, he's at least able to let you know he's confused. So that's a good sign if he's still being conscious. That is a good start. That's something to work with for sure. All right, here we go. Let's go. Sasquatch Chronicles blog, of course. This is Wes Germer's site, the companion site to the Sasquatch Chronicles podcast, which is obviously an amazing show. If you haven't heard of that, I don't know what's wrong with you. There's no hope. Well, let's read this one. This is a listener story that he posted from November 12th, Encounters from My Father and I. A listener writes, "Hey, Wes, I recently came across your podcast on Spotify. I've been listening to it almost every day for a week now. I know in every episode you mentioned to shoot you an email if I've had an encounter, and never really thought about emailing you about my encounters until recently. I heard a couple of stories on your episodes that were very similar to mine and resonated with me. I grew up in Spokane, Washington. That's literally an hour away from me. And have done a ton of camping and fishing in Washington, Idaho, and Montana over the years. One was 6 years ago. I was backpacking up some mountain lakes in the woods, somewhere on the border of Idaho and Montana with my scout/church group. I can't remember exactly what lakes they were. And the first night, I was sleeping in a hammock. And I heard something slowly approach me from deep into the woods, and it sounded very heavy, like stomping, and definitely bipedal. I was so terrified and frozen that I wouldn't even peek out of my tent to see what it was. After it got away too close to my buddy in a hammock close to me, who heard this as well as yelled at it, and it took off back into the woods extremely fast and sounded so heavy and bipedal, I was terrified. My second encounter was interesting, and it didn't necessarily involve Bigfoot or a Sasquatch, at least not that I'm aware of. It was in 2020, and I was 19, and with another church group, this time as a leader and not one of the boys. We backpacked to Navigation Campground up on Upper Priest Lake in northern Idaho. That's about 30 minutes away from me. First night was sleeping in a tent with my father and my younger brother. At around 2 a.m., I was awoken to a strange sound in the woods. It almost sounded like a large group of birds chattering or something. It was really weird. I remember just sitting there very confused, like, why would there be birds going nuts like this at 2 a.m.? This noise woke my father as well, and while he was awake with those noises, he decided to get out of the tent and check it out and just go have a pee. While he was out there, the noises stopped, and after a little bit, he poked his head in the tent and told me very sternly and seriously, "Get out here right now to see what I'm seeing, to make sure that I'm not going crazy." Well, at this point, my heart dropped, and I refused to fully get out of the tent, but I peeked my head out and looked where my father was pointing. I didn't see anything, so after like a minute, my dad tells me he saw a bright light ball where those noises were coming from earlier. And as he was watching it, it shot off into the woods faster than anything he's ever seen. Well, I started freaking out at that point and couldn't sleep and was shaking with fear because I trust my dad a lot, and I know he wasn't just making something up for no reason. These are the experiences that I've had, and I'm sure my dad could explain the second encounter in greater detail than I can because he actually saw the thing. He's had another encounter that I'm aware of where he heard stuff in the woods with his brothers and had things thrown at him. Oh, thank you, Maggie. Maggie, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. Maggie gifted 1 membership, folks, and the lucky winner is Vegas Dirt Pusher. Good to see you, Vegas Dirt Pusher. Pusher? What the hell's a pusher? Vegas Dirt Pusher. Good to have you here, man. That's wonderful. And thank you, Maggie, for making that happen. That's really cool. Really appreciate it. Awesome. So that's a good story. What is the combination with Bigfoot and lights? I don't know. Not that necessarily the second one was a Bigfoot encounter, but something was freaking out the birds. Or was that the sound of the energy ball? I don't know. Sound like it was freaking out the birds though, right? Because even though they may nest and roost during the night, doesn't mean that they're oblivious. They can wake up chattering if they're stressed, if something is freaking them out. So maybe those energy balls were freaking them out. That's crazy. I don't know, but anyway, cool stories. That's very, very cool. Even hearing those things walking up on them, that's creepy. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Sorry I have to run. Thanks, Brent. Much love. Chucky and all good. Have a good night. Gnoot. Good night. Good night, Maggie. Thank you so much. Love to the family. Hope you guys are doing great. There's Mr. Grandizer. Good to see you, man. Glad you made it in. Unreal estate engine or agent. Light bulbs have been reported with Bigfoot more than once, for sure. Yeah, they sure have. It's a funny correlation because obviously it's like, well, light bulbs don't necessarily mean Bigfoot, but there is something going on that maybe the Bigfoot are drawn to those light bulbs as well. It's just a state of curiosity, like what the hell are those things? They're back. What is going on? And they come out and then they're seen in proximity to each other. So people go, oh, the light bulbs are Bigfoot. Well, no, not necessarily, but who knows? What if they were? What if they are? I don't know. I don't know if you guys listened to my podcast episode this week, but it dealt with Beyond the Legend of Bigfoot. And I talk about a lot of different ideas about what Bigfoot is. And certainly we go into the ultra-terrestrial, we go into the spiritual, we go into the interdimensional, we go into the primate, we go into the hominid, all of that. And it's an interesting thought, but all of these claims are, as old as time, really. So what is it? Well, maybe it's a lot of things. I don't know. It's a lot to get your head around, but it's worth considering. If you haven't heard this week's podcast, please check it out. You can find the Paranormal Portal podcast on all of the platforms that podcasts are listened to. Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, whatever. Wherever you listen to podcasts. If you got an iPhone or a Android phone, there's a podcast icon automatically with your phone. Just look for Paranormal Portal and you'll find us. So, us. You'll find me. It's just me. I'm a one-man show, but it sounds better to say us. Because it's us. Maybe it is us, because we're all a community. All right, so that's from Sasquatch Chronicles. Again, special thanks to Wes. Appreciate your blessing to use these for the show. They are great to discuss and to consider. So next up, we're heading over to a place we haven't been for a long time. But Lon's done a really great job redesigning his site. It looks amazing. It's actually a much cleaner design than his old one. I really, really like it. It's really easy to navigate and fantastic. And he's done a lot of work re-uploading a lot of his back catalog again too, which is nice. So let's visit the Phantoms and Monsters, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, go visit phantomsandmonsters.com because honestly, Lon has thousands of encounter stories over here. There's so much you can read. You can look into stories of Bigfoot. You can look into stories of Dogman. You can look into stories of a lot of Mothman. He's been covering Mothman a lot, especially up in the Great Lakes region. All those sightings that have come in around Chicago and the Great Lakes. And pretty much everything. He's got research communities all around the country that are looking into this stuff as well. So there's all kinds of stuff for you guys to explore and consider. But it'll definitely help support Lon because Lon has been at this for decades and the guy needs your love. Just keep going over there and checking it out, supporting what he's doing. Watch his podcast too. It's Phantoms and Monsters Radio, and that is streaming on YouTube and Facebook on Lon's sites. So go over to Phantoms and Monsters Radio on YouTube and get subscribed. Give Lon your love. All right, here we go. The Actuality of Cryptid Canines, a Lone Seeker's Spiritual Quest for the Truth. And this is, that's a great title because I think we're all looking for truth in all of this. That's what the quest is. What is this stuff? What is going on? But let's take a look. A Pennsylvania reader shares his chilling yet inspiring experiences walking alone in the heart of Dogman territory, where shadowy figures dash under the moonlight and uncanny growls seem to carry an intelligent acknowledgement. But unlike most who meet these cryptid canines with fear and weapons, the seeker believes that respect and openness may unlock a deeper connection to an ancient presence that has been watching us all along. I received the following inquiry from a reader after I posted the cryptid canine encounters in Clearfield County, Pennsylvania. What was the date on this one? Did it have a date or no? Well, it was September 10th of this year. But that's kind of when he got his site up and running again too. So I don't know if there's an older report or not. It says, I took a trip down there this past fall and walked that road myself. Out in a field off of that road was dashing back and forth under the moonlight that didn't run like a bear, a deer, a horse, or dog. I thought to myself, it's the werewolf. I was thrilled to catch a glimpse of the shadowy silhouette of what I believed to be that creature. However, after a car passed by, it vanished. It was truly something. That guy that spotted it slammed on the gas, ran home, and grabbed his gun while I was out there walking that road unarmed. And I think I saw it. I still recall that somewhat mystical and uncanny way that it dashed back and forth in that field, as if it didn't know what to make of me walking down the road. It was an inspiring experience. That was by ZW. Lon says, I contacted ZW for more information. And he says, this has become a hobby of mine. Going to these sighting areas alone in my spare time. I'm a lifelong bachelor and a true loner. I have a unique attitude towards these creatures that most people don't understand. For me, my encounters have been anything but aggressive. I've ventured into areas where these creatures have been seen alone late at night, unarmed, in the heart of Dogman territory. Although I have not directly seen one of these creatures yet, the subtle, uncanny experiences I've had suggest that there is definitely something else out there beyond the average bear, deer, horse, cow, and so on. From a mystical growl of acknowledgement to something shifting its weight forward along the forest debris, I've received a telepathic image of a canine-like head and snout. I've also heard something snap a twig, followed by a growling snort. All of my encounters have had a sense of intelligent acknowledgement, and I've become more inspired to try to connect with these creatures. I often see videos of people out there looking for these creatures with guns, fear, and hostile attitudes. My approach is just the opposite. It has become more of a spiritual journey for me, one in which I'm trying to discover what I've been missing in life all these years. When I saw the first Howling movie, something resonated with me. In the back of my mind, I was connecting with a part of nature that lies somewhere in between reality and science fiction. With all the sightings of these creatures and people scrambling to find out more, I'm on my own little quest. However, I'm not searching for monsters. I'm looking for something else. Perhaps a missing puzzle piece in life that many have found, but no one knows precisely where it fits into the big picture. I approach the situation with respect rather than fear. I've heard that many people are terrified by these creatures, claiming they have growled or even chased after them. If these beings indeed are real, which seems increasingly likely given the sheer number of sightings, there's definitely something among us. What frustrates people when I discuss this topic is my attitude towards these creatures. While most respond with fear and thoughts of destruction, I take a more respectful stance. If these werewolf and dogman creatures are truly present, then this has likely been their home long before mankind evolved into beings we are today. I'm sure that these creatures have been observing us for many years and are not pleased with how we've treated their planet. Many people are ashamed to express or even feel non-human emotions. I don't know what that means. Perhaps this allows me to connect with different beings on a deeper level, and I've conditioned my spirit to strive for their approval. While most people may aim their guns at these creatures, my unique feeling towards them may place me in their crosshairs. Amiability, whatever that may entail. I don't even know what I just read. May place me in their crosshairs of amiability, whatever that may entail. I don't know, he's got a better vocabulary than I've got. The judge from Bloodsport 3 said, to take your spirit to the next level, you need to first learn to be one with your surroundings. Whether this statement is true or not, I believe that a person's spirit is like a frequency wave emitter, which can likely be interpreted in ways unknown to humans. Keeping an open mind not only helps us to discover new things, but also presents us with opportunities to connect with life in ways we never thought possible. I got to inhale before all those words. We're currently in a time of debate regarding religious beliefs, facts, and fiction, similar to the ancient people who debated whether the earth was round or flat. Still having that discussion, for the record. An idea that was once widely accepted as fact. Today, most people believe that there are only humans and animals with nothing in between. However, that perception of fact, truth, and reality could change on a large scale. It is fascinating to me to contemplate these ideas. As much as people may think I'm just some eccentric with wild ideas, I'm already at peace with an unforeseen reality that may shock many in the days and years ahead. It's interesting to note that most, if not all, dogman, werewolf, and cryptid canid sightings are reported from the Americas, one of the last continents to be inhabited by humankind. Perhaps these cryptids migrated to maintain their own separate existence from the human world. When humans established themselves in the United States, there may have been nowhere left on Earth that was free from human presence. Just a thought. Overall, if these creatures are indeed real and exist, they're likely here before us. It upsets me a bit that many people are unable to respect this. These cryptid canid creatures might also be an ancient species that survived the Jurassic period, much like Bigfoot. As humanity continues to deface the planet, leaving less and less suitable habitat for nature's creatures, it's become increasingly clear, especially with the rise of the internet, that we may not know as much about life as we once thought. In Lon's note, the writer's description of himself is that of a true cryptozoologist, neither armed nor driven by bloodlust, but instead possessing an overwhelming desire to uncover the truth, whether it concerns real-life monsters, hidden animals, or folklore. I believe and hope that we're all getting closer to what we seek. That was by Lon. Very good. Very cool article. Sounds like an interesting character. And I don't mean character in a degrading way. I just think his take is somewhat unique, you know. I think it's cool. Very cool. Good luck to him. I applaud his courage, but I worry for his safety. I mean, my God, could you imagine? That's the kind of thing you only get to do wrong once. You don't want to screw that up more than once. I'm just saying. But very cool stuff. Always a pleasure. Thanks to Lon for letting us use Phantoms and Monsters as well. Very cool site. And he's done a hell of a job with it. So definitely support him and Wes and all the other sites that you've heard me mention. And I guess that's going to about wrap it up for us tonight, guys. We are done for the evening. This is our Wednesday show. I hope you guys had a good time. Thank you, everybody, for being here and all the community you guys bring with you, the family you've created here. I'll be back on Friday night. I think Sheldon will be with me, but we'll find out more on Friday. Sometimes I don't always know, but I'm sure if he can, he will be. And we'll dive into another 2-hour segment of the portal. So until then, you guys have a good rest of your week. Enjoy the rest of your days through the work week and get to that weekend, and I'll meet you there. I'll have the lights on ready for you. So that's it for me, guys. You guys have a great night. Remember, love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. I'll see you next time, Friday night, right here on the portal. Until then, take care of yourselves. Good night, everybody.